I'm really, really excited to be chatting with my friend Nakia Stephens today. We met a few years ago at the screening for her film, Muse. Our mutual friend, Ebony Hayes, invited me out, and after I watched the film, I was like, oh my God, I need to meet this woman. She was just, like, amazing. And so we've really been in touch ever since. Nakia Stephens is an award-winning screenwriter, and although she's based right here in Atlanta, her work is nationally known. Nakia, I'm so happy about this.
Hi, I'm excited.
So I saw you, I was back there getting my makeup done, and I saw you come through the door, and it was like, that's my baby.
Oh God.
I love her. I'm really, really excited about this. So
Yeah.
let's just start with who is Nakia? Tell us about Nakia.
I'm passionate about storytelling. I am passionate about traveling the world because of storytelling, because I like to meet new people and just get a different perspective. And I'm just passionate about preserving the culture, and so that's what I really think what I do can do. You know what I mean? I was just listening to a podcast, Angel Rye. She always says work woke, and so I was like, well, what does that mean to me? Okay. You know, and so I think that when I do my work, I like to stay conscious of images for Black women, Black people, everything, in our stories. And so I think that's who I am.
That's so special. Well, I like how you described yourself, because I feel like sometimes we describe ourselves as what we do, and I like how you described yourself as what you're passionate about. And so I want to start with understanding you. What are some of the memories that you have as a child that you've seen manifest in your life?
I was just talking about this. So I used to play The Sims all the time.
I love The Sims.
I was addicted.
Did you have all the packs, the party pack?
Yes.
Did you have the cheat codes?
I did not. I
had millions of dollars.
Yes. Yeah. I did not have the cheat codes. I wanted to work my way through. I'm a cheater. Yeah, you're a cheater. It's okay. But no, I played The Sims and I was addicted to it, and I was like, why am I addicted to this game? Right. From when I was young all the way up until my last time I remember playing I was in China as a college student.
Playing
literally, they would be like, hey, we're going to go roam the city. And I'm like, no, I'm busy.
Sims.
And I'm playing The Sims all night. My friend Alicia, she'll probably watch this and she'll be like, yep, because she was my roommate in China. But
you could literally play all night.
Right. And so what that had manifested into is me being a storyteller, right? So on The Sims, you create these different characters down to the T, what this character's sign is going to be, how they're going to look, who they're going to like, what their personality traits are,
what their job is going to be.
What their job is going to be, everything, who they're going to marry, who they're not going to like, you know what I mean? And so you literally, you were responsible for these people and what they did.
Right.
And so that's essentially what I do as a screenwriter. I'm literally doing that same thing, and I'm addicted to it just like I was addicted to that game.
Have you shared that story?
Crazy. I haven't, because I just thought about it. My mom reminded me. It was random, and we saw something. I don't remember. She was like, you used to play that game all day. And I was like, and I thought about it. It was literally That's So Raven. I was like, oh my God, it's storytelling. That's why I was addicted to it. So yeah, I've never really shared that story.
So I know you studied screenwriting in LA. What was that like?
It was great. I did a couple of workshops at the New York Film. What is it? New York Film Academy? Yeah, they have a LA branch there. So it was very cool to be in there and to be around different people. And then so I was still kind of new, because my undergrad, they didn't necessarily offer screenwriting as a major. They had a class or two, and then when I did foreign exchange, I took classes there, but so I was still new. In my head, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Right.
So it was just fun, because we had a particular project where we were supposed to make this fake movie, just the log line for it, which is just a brief description of what this new movie would be, and it was just fake. So I presented it, and everybody was like, it was so great, and I was like, what? In my head, I'm like, no, I'm new to this, I can't be this great. And so the teacher was like, that was awesome, you should do that. And it was called Annabelle, right? This was years ago.
Really?
And now there's a movie called Annabelle. It's not exactly the same, but
right, but
I'm like,
you be knowing. It be you be knowing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny, because there's this show that Oprah has coming out on her network, and for the longest I wanted to do a show like that, and I'm like, I'll be knowing.
It's nothing really new under the sun.
It really
is
isn't.
Who's gonna have the guts to really bring it forth and tell it,
true.
you know.
So I have a question. So I feel like most people, especially in entertainment, feel like they have to move to LA to make it. Like, do you feel like you have to move to LA to make it?
No, and if you do, I'm gonna make it so that you don't have to. Because I love Atlanta. This is where I'm from. I'm born and raised in Atlanta. And I lived in LA, so don't get me wrong, I love LA.
Yeah,
I literally, when I moved back here, I wasn't supposed to stay here. I would move back to do my first, film.
I remember and the show, right?
Right, and to do the show because I knew my people were here, so I'm like, I'm gonna come back, do my work, and then go back to LA, and it just never happened because I just kept making stuff. But right now, as far as like screenwriting, writers' rooms are typically like they're located in LA. Right. And so I'm like, that sucks. Like, I don't think we should have to move. Right. And luckily, as a writer, I can just go wherever when I'm needed, right? Right. But I want us to be respected, how people who move to LA are respected.
Absolutely.
Because if you say, oh, I'm an LA actress, or I'm an LA writer, or I'm an LA whatever, it's like oh, right. It's like, you're like, oh, I'm a screenwriter, I'm from Atlanta. They're like, oh, okay, cute, little indie. They just immediately
automatically indie,
right? They don't think it's professional or you're doing anything professional. So I want to get it to a point to where if you say Atlanta, you're respected just the same.
Absolutely. So you're dealing with many characters, right? And you've written many scripts. Like, so why was it important for you to produce Cream and Coffee at this time?
So at the time when Cream and Coffee was being created,
right?
I had a conversation with one of my friends. I tell this story all the time. She's like, oh my God. And she was in a relationship with a white man, and she's a black woman. And so I just was having girl talk. I mean, we were talking in general, and I was just like, oh, how's everything?
Right.
You know, I wasn't expecting a full story. Usually when I just ask that, I just need you to say good. And like, you can tell me a little, and then we can just keep it going. But she was like, you know, it's not going good. And this was at the time of like the Trayvon Martin situation, everything, Mike Brown, everything was going on. And the political climate was crazy. I mean, it's crazy now, but it was just, you know, really just bad. Surfacing everything. And so she was like, we're having a difference of opinions and he doesn't understand. And it was very interesting. And I'm like, So I started asking questions. I'm very invasive because I'm a screenwriter, and I apologize.
So at this point, if we talk to you, we know.
Yeah, you know it's going to happen. I usually tell people, I say, listen, I'm about to ask you questions because this is interesting and I might write a story. I do give my disclaimer, but
I love it though.
Yeah, so she started talking about that, and I started to think about like the things that we really don't think about when we start a relationship. Like sometimes we don't ask people what they feel about like religion or politics and stuff. Like you're just driven by love and genuine connection.
It's a great date.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like months or years later, and then you're like, wait a minute, what's your religion? Or are you spiritual? Or wait a minute, you know, where do you want to live? That's a big thing too. Somebody might not even want to live where y'all are now, and you might, and that might be an issue. So that was one point that I wanted to touch on. And then also in interracial relationships, in times of turmoil with like racial injustices, what's your opinion on that? Yes, you know what I mean? Yes. And you don't think to ask that in the beginning because it's like, I mean, who wants to talk about that? You just want to, you know, how's it going? You want to go on a date? Let's be buddy, cool, cute. Yeah. But yeah, so it's unfortunate that she had to wait till maybe, I think she was like 3 years in to find out her partner's thoughts on racial injustices. And so that sucks. And so anyway, that just sparked something in me. And I'm like, you know what? I want to get this conversation going. Like, what does that look like?
That's really important. I never thought about that, but I can totally relate to the, you know, because my girlfriend, you know, Sydney, she's mixed. So she has the, you know, her white side of the family and the black side of the family. And so when I'm mad at everybody, right? And so, and you know, but she can truly, she can obviously differentiate because she has this whole family that's white. And I'm mad at she has a totally different perspective. So I can totally relate to that. It's tough sometimes, and I have to be like, I know your family is great, but man, Donald Trump and everybody, I don't like
exactly. So yeah, it's and then being a writer, you have to learn to speak from different perspectives too. Absolutely. I do that a lot now in my actual life, which I think I've gotten from screenwriting. which I think has helped me. Like, if I'm mad at somebody, I'll be like, okay, well, why would they do that?
That's
okay, maybe
really
something
mature.
That's mature. So I appreciate Screenwriter for helping me to, like, I literally will flip something. And try to see why I'm, like, if I'm wrong, actually, or, you know what I mean? So
I'm interested
it really
in that.
helps me. Mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, racial relations, has there been anything that you've been able to, like, sort of understand because of that flip?
A couple of things. I mean,
I'll give you one.
Okay, I'll give you one example. This is a lot, though. Okay, well, I'll make it quick. I was speaking to one of my friends, and she runs a social media site for a very big, organization. And she said, you know how everyone was mentioning the election, we have the first, the transgender,
yes,
she was elected.
I think she's a mayor?
Right, a mayor.
Yeah. I think.
Or something.
I don't know.
I have no idea. That's crazy. Oh, so sad. Sorry. But forgive us if we're wrong.
Yes.
But still, so she thanked them. She shouted them out. She was like, shout out to all of the women and transgender women who blah 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 blah, right? And so she said that her boss was concerned because she said that's offensive. And then my friend said, well, why is it offensive? Is she not transgender? And then so I kind of partially agreed. I got what she was saying because it's a different experience when you're born a woman and then when you're transgender. Everybody deserves equality and certain rights and everything, all that good stuff, and I'm all for it.
Right.
Be who you want to be. But I do agree with her as far as that, right? And so I flipped it on her. Even though I did, get where I said, because she's biracial, I said, well, if someone said, congratulations to all the black women and the biracial women.
Right.
Would you feel some type of way? And she said yes. And I said, well, that's the same thing.
And what I understand too, I mean, but then when you're trans, they want to, you want to be identified as he, she.
Yeah, so we use proper pronouns, right? But
being able to
overall, it's like you are, we're not saying anything wrong, or that's what that was the conversation was.
Yeah, I think that's like really mature that you can have that type of conversation, because I think that there's a lot of conversations that people are afraid to have because of difference of opinion. So I think that's really
and people
mature.
are sometimes bullied to think a certain way.
Exactly. Like, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about your feelings toward the state of media and the portrayal of people of color. Like, what do you think? Do you think we're getting better at, like, I know that's part of your duty, right? Your purpose is to help those stories, but currently, major networks, what do you think? How do you think we're doing?
I think that they're recognizing that we're here we're like demanding a seat at the table. And if you don't give us one, we'll build our own table and bring our own chairs. And I feel like there's still work to do, but I feel like we are getting better. I'm seeing improvements, be it little or small, I'm seeing improvements.
Right, because I'm excited about the Shy, like
all of these
things like that, right?
And just like minorities in general, right? Like
minorities in general, right?
I'm late, so don't nobody stone me. But I just got on what's the show? Master of None. I
gotta watch it.
It's so good.
It's really good. Okay.
It's really good, and it's like all different races like in one setting, and I kind of like appreciate the storytelling from each angle.
I gotta watch that.
But I feel like you definitely need to.
Okay.
Definitely. But I feel like we're getting better. Like I said, it's a part of, well, like you said, it is my duty to contribute to that, right? And so that's just literally what drives me. I'm like, okay, I gotta get these stories out. I gotta reclaim our narratives, and I have to, reshape how like we're portrayed like in our story, because if you're a white man, you have no idea.
You can't be telling.
You can't tell a black woman's story, especially if you
you see how they tell it. Like
right.
I feel like they think especially for black men, a white man telling a black man's story. To me, I've seen the pants that are down to your waist, the braids, the dreads, the grills, like the big oversized clothes. It's like for y'all to think that we dress like that all the time.
Or that if
so
that's
annoying.
Everybody, like you get one character, make them one-dimensional, and then have that be the representation for our entire race.
And then they're always in the suits.
Right.
Please.
Always.
Right. All right. So, doing the work we're doing and being so passionate can cause some stress and anxiety, at least for me.
Yes.
Right. So, how are you maintaining your sense of peace?
So yeah, stress and anxiety over here too. Okay.
Girl, it's rough.
And you know, so right now, if you go to my Instagram, it's a big peace sign as my like avatar because I'm saying like bye. I checked out. So I'm taking a like IG hiatus, right? And that's because I just wanted to. It's very like I realized as a writer, I cannot give my 100% to like my characters and my stories and my plots and all of that good stuff if I'm like scrolling during my downtime.
Right.
I just don't have time because
Right.
that causes my anxiety too. Since I've been on my hiatus, I've been so calm.
Really, just like living at peace. And
If I have some news that's not pleasant,
right.
I'm like, okay, you know what I mean?
That's so good.
Versus like I would have been like, oh God, okay, let's I need to
I hate
move
that
up.
it's like that for us, like that we
Right.
feel like that. But I mean, obviously it happens with everybody.
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm like always debating, like, do I stay on? Do I get off? I feel like I need it for my business. And I'm checking, but it really is rough, and you have to really
So it's
try.
very helpful. No,
Right.
don't get me wrong. I love Instagram. I've met some of the best people via Instagram.
Yes.
Or social media in general. But I do think it's necessary to like literally reclaim your time. So
Absolutely.
don't let it eat up all of your time. I've written like 4 scripts.
Really?
4, and I've only been on hiatus since like the 7th.
Come on, we need to
So
reclaim our time.
that's letting
Emoji
me
right
know,
there,
like,
Sarah.
I'm spending my time
Reclaiming our time.
Hello, I'm spending my time scrolling when I could be writing. So I think I'm just going to like diet my time.
I like that
on Instagram a little better, and so this hiatus is just letting me like step back in hindsight and just see what I can do, because I definitely want to use it to the platform to just let people know what I'm doing as a screenwriter, you know, some tips and all that good stuff. I think it's good to share your life, you know,
absolutely.
but just don't make it addictive to where you're not getting what you need to get done.
Right. So I learned in therapy about boundaries, and I'm asking everyone about this. How do you create boundaries between your work and your life?
Let's see. I try to, you know, it's difficult. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
It's like
but I'm learning
work,
now.
right?
I feel like, well, it's a constant learning thing. Like, you know, it's a constant process, and I think sometimes you don't just automatically say, okay, now I have boundaries. I think you learn a little by little, and so you say, okay, I have boundaries with what days I'm gonna do this. I have boundaries with how many people I'm gonna, you know, interact with today. I have boundaries when my cutoff time is. You know what I mean? So you learn as you go. And so I think I've gotten to the point where I have a boundary on what day is literally in my passion planner, I have to say like, this is like your time. Okay. You know what I mean? Meaning that whole day
is your time.
I'm not responding to emails. I'm not responding to text messages if it's not urgent.
Right.
Yeah. And I just claim that for myself.
Right.
And so I've learned that it's important. You have to regroup. Sometimes you just have to do nothing.
I just want people to know that. Like, when they're watching this, I want them to know that it's important. Because I've learned how important that is. I was associating my whole life with my work. So if something was going wrong in work, I'm like, my life is over. I'm a failure. I am a complete failure because of this one thing. And that's when I really learned in therapy, like, you have to create boundaries.
Yeah, and you have to like separate your work and like who you are.
Absolutely. Okay, so what are you proud of?
What am I proud of?
And this is your moment to brag, because I think we need to brag. Like, I don't think, you know, we always be humble, because like, you know, most people that watch this may or may not know like my team. I got certain people on my team, right? And so Melanie, I will read her receipts for her.
Melanie's done this.
Yeah, she's done this. Happily, I read my whole team's receipts, because like, they're not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for them. So this is read your receipts.
Oh,
read your receipts. Like, what are you proud of though?
So I'm proud of Cream and Coffee.
And yes, good.
I'm proud to have, because it sometimes it makes you feel like you haven't done a lot, because you try to name your projects and you're like, oh wait, it's not even a lot of projects. But a web series is very difficult, and I think people who have attempted and have realized that it's difficult understand now that when you finish it, that is something huge.
And to
you
roll
are
it
doing
out the way
almost
you've done
10 short films. That's what you're doing. And so 2 seasons, that's 20
short films, basically,
you know what I mean? And so I'm super proud of it.
You should be.
I'm super proud of its growth. I'm also proud I'm proud to be independent. You know, like sometimes you have to like sit back and say, you know, I've done a lot of things on my own. Not saying that like no one has like helped me or encouraged me. I've always been encouraged. But as far as like getting things on my own and not having to necessarily depend on someone else to take care of me, that's something that I am proud of. And nobody can take that away from you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You should absolutely be proud of
the
that.
things that you have.
Like you've done this.
Right.
It's done.
Exactly.
It's done.
And in education, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I've like taken advantage of my education.
Good,
I'm proud of the fact that I have taken advantage of this world. Like I've traveled.
Yes.
I've met people. I still have friends in like Barcelona and Africa. I still have friends who I talk to all the time. Thailand.
That is so special.
Right. And then first of all, can I tell you that my Thailand friends didn't know me and they threw me like a birthday party like my first day there.
How special is that?
I was like, wow.
That is so. Was it a moment? Did you kind of?
It was. I was like, these people don't even know me. And I had like this cake with little. Yeah, it was
so
very
sweet.
nice. And so you just kind of see the humanity in other people.
Right.
But anyway, so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my growth in my relationships with my friends.
Yes.
My growth in my relationships with my partner.
That's beautiful.
With my family.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just proud. I mean, growth is something to definitely be proud of.
Absolutely.
If you can like react to a certain thing a certain way and then remember how you could have reacted, that's a moment that you have to take that moment and be like,
because you'd be like, ooh, if she would have known me a few years ago.
What they say insecure, she was like, oh, you got them big girl panties. So she's like, that's growth. That's my favorite part because I was like,
because that's real. Like,
she's like, that's growth.
It really is because you have to be like, you know, has she known me just a few
years ago? It would have been Jill Scott. Let me get my Vaseline. But you know, it's cool now. Peace, love, prosperity.
I love
Let's keep
that.
it moving. So yeah,
that.
it's a lot of things to be proud of. A lot of non-tangible things.
Right. Absolutely.
To be proud of.
And isn't it amazing, like how we used to be proud of the tangible things?
Yeah.
Like I used to just be
I got
so
a car. I got
right. But now it's like, you know, I don't
I'm proud of my peace.
Hello, my peace is like I need my peace. Mm-hmm. Listen, you're not gonna mess up my peace. Mm-hmm. All right, so just a few more questions.
Okay.
What role does spirituality play in your life?
It plays a big role, you know, because you have to be centered, and I feel like you should have a relationship to or with whoever, something. You know, something, yeah. You know, whatever it may be. I feel like you have to believe in like a bigger power than yourself.
Right.
And so it's very important to me to like align myself and like talk to myself and talk to, you know, God, and put certain things out in the universe.
Right.
So that I can manifest them back. So I think it's truly important to, you know, anyone who wants to have peace in their life, who wants to be centered, who wants to like prosper, you literally, I feel like you have to have faith. Because if you don't, like, you literally will be lost. Like,
because what are you dependent on? Like, you're dependent on yourself and other people at that point, right?
You can't depend on yourself,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can depend on your higher self,
right.
But like who you are right now,
yeah, like of this world and your friends, like you really can't.
It's not gonna work, right?
Okay, so what are you most excited about this year?
So 2018. I am excited about a few things. I am most excited about. So I'm manifesting this, okay?
Okay, manifest it.
Being in a writer's room for a major network or a show that I'm very proud of, right? So I wrote that down. And the things that I wrote last year have happened. It's very crazy to go back and be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Or to look at your vision board and say, well, I did that, and that. Because you don't necessarily try to, it's not like a checklist. Like, you don't go and say, okay, today I'm going to do
You let it go. You do it and you let it go.
Yeah, and then you just see it all the time. You see it all the time until eventually you're like, whoa, I did that. And sometimes it gets so creepy to where, like, I would want to say I want to travel. And I would just cut out any place to travel, but just to represent travel. And I'll end up going to that place. And I'm like, well, I didn't even try to do that. So it's crazy. It's a little.
The universe is like.
So you got to be careful.
Right.
I be
okay. I be
telling
people
that was Black girl conversation.
Right, like we had a full conversone just now. I be telling people you better watch them words. Don't be coming over here with that.
And you did that to me. We were on the phone, and I think you were just. This is one of a friendship moment where she's on the phone with me and she's just like, I appreciate you, Diamond, I can always depend on Diamond. I'm like, oh, thank you. And we were talking about something, and I was like, I know, and I didn't even know that would happen. It was so random. And she I don't think she realized this, but like you corrected me. I don't think you tried to. You just said it back to me. You was like, yeah, it's divine. So it's not random. It was divine, right?
Ooh,
and I was like, yes, let me stop saying random. Because it was not random.
Everything is truly divine. When you look at some of the things, like even when I look at, my team or like just knowing you, I'm just like, come on,
yeah,
God.
it's
like,
never random.
It really isn't.
Yeah, I'm trying to remove that out of my vocabulary.
So, you shared so much with us here today, and we really want to get back to you. So is there anything that we can keep on our prayer list for you?
Oh,
come on. You know who that is. You know who that is, all up in the spirit.
Okay. Okay, so on your prayer list, so pray for what I manifested to happen.
Okay, cool. That's happening. It's on the way.
That's, you know what? That could be the prayer right there, right?
I can't wait till you make the announcement.
Right. Pray that everything that I hope to manifest in 2018 happens.
Ooh.
Simple. That's simple.
That is. Thank you. That is so good. So, I care a lot about books. And so, I wanted to know what you were reading. So here you go. You brought this Talk That Talk.
Okay.
Tell us about this book. Okay, so this is what you're reading. Talk That Talk.
Okay, so first of all, this is technically like one of our textbooks from college, from my African American literature class.
Nice.
My favorite college class.
Really?
And I had a screenwriting class in college.
And this was the favorite?
And African American literature was my favorite.
Oh my goodness.
4 years.
Wow.
Several classes.
You took 4 years of that?
No, I'm saying I had 4 years of college.
And this was your favorite?
And this was my favorite
class.
talk
to us about it. Like, what is it about this book that is
I'm kind of cheating. I guess this is my cheat code, right?
Right.
Because Talk That Talk isn't necessarily one. It's not. It's an anthology.
Okay.
So it's a series of. So it's really called Talk That Talk, an anthology of African American storytelling. See, college use cheaper. So and it just has it talks about like the art of storytelling, right? And the African American culture. And where it comes from, like it breaks it down from oral storytelling to folk tales to sermons,
that's deep and
to rap. Like it goes to everything because everything is storytelling. It's just talking about the evolution of it all, and it has stories from the greats like Dick Gregory, like February. That was like hilarious. I'll have to read February. It's hilarious. So Dick Gregory, you have Nikki Giovanni, Ruby Dee, you have Langston Hughes. It's Martin Luther King. It has stories from everything's from this book, and it's just so great to go back and read these things because the folk stories or folk tales are my favorite because they're kind of like stories that you would tell to children,
right.
But it has like a deeper meaning, and it's like literally filled with like culture, right? And so these are stories I want to remember so that I can pass them on because that's the purpose
of a folktale, it's passed down,
right? It's oral storytelling. That's how it all started because our ancestors, you know what I mean?
That's what they had to do, right?
When they were captured and held as slaves, they were not supposed to read or write, so they had to tell stories through,
that's so beautiful.
Just storytelling or singing or hymns, Negro spirituals, all that good stuff is storytelling. You literally had a map in what you were saying, in what you were singing. People were able to escape. Like, come on. So I feel like storytelling is a map to like finding yourself,
really
right? It's like helping you with your narrative. So this book is amazing. I love it. I always refer back to it, and I have to, especially now.
Talk That Talk. So this is good. And so who is this good for? Like if you had to recommend this for somebody that may be looking for something, like what is the person looking for that's reading it?
I feel like this book is for anyone who wants to just feel connected to their ancestors, right? Yes. To storytelling, to get a sense of like the evolution of African storytelling and African American storytelling, right? You can learn a little of everything in here. And because I'm writing something that requires me to have a little knowledge about the start of storytelling, that's why this is important. I mean, it's literally annotated. I already have like sticky notes, highlights, all kind of stuff.
I love it. Yeah. Your passion really shows in your work, and like the knowledge and how brilliant you are around what you do definitely shows in your work. So Talk That Talk for anybody. Awesome.
Buy it used. Tip, this is a tip. Buy used because people like me have already highlighted the important stuff.
No. I love it. I love it. Okay. I feel like we're always trying to make it. What does it mean to you to make it?
To be free, right? So financially free. And to like not really worry about anything,
Right,
you know
just
what I
free,
mean?
literally free.
Like I want to eat this, I'm gonna do it. Like not have any like
Right,
worries. I want
right.
to go here, I'm gonna do it. I want to call this person. I want to like having like control over what you do
I love it.
without any restraints.
And then what's the funniest thing you watched lately, like on Netflix or Hulu or whatever? That was just like, cause you know we need some good laughs sometimes. Like
The funny, okay. Master of None is hilarious, but that's not what I'm gonna say. Big Mouth.
okay, on Netflix.
I was talking about it already. It is hilarious.
like
It is
really fun, like funnier than Family
geniusly
Guy. Maybe I'm
written.
childish.
I mean, fun. You said funnier.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it. I feel like they consulted the writers. Like it's hilarious
I gotta
because
watch
it talks about
Big
like
Mouth.
the puberty, like kids going through puberty, and it's hilarious.
Okay.
Like
Okay, so we're watching that tonight.
you have to.
That's
watch
that's a
it.
good
But you
one.
have to have like a dry.
No,
you have
first
to,
of
like,
all,
dry
first of all, I
humor.
love The Office, and I actually want to be Michael Scott. Like,
Okay, great.
I actually am Michael Scott.
You are.
Yeah.
I was about
Michael
to say
Scott
that.
and I'm
I thought
Oprah.
you were.
Oprah Scott.
You're Oprah Scott. I was gonna say that. We're here. Yeah.
I love it.
So definitely watch Big Mouth.
Big Mouth is like.
Next week on Diamond.
Black Health is an organization dedicated to educating, engaging, and empower the Black community in our health and wellness.
Yes.
And it started with me and 3 of my friends. We were all in graduate school together getting our masters in public health. And so we went to a predominantly white institution, and we were most of the times the only Black people in our classes. And sitting in class, you see these graphs and these charts, and Black people are at the top of every one. We're more likely to get disease or illness. We're more likely to die from disease and illness. And I mean, it's not even by a little bit, it's a lot.
I'm tired of limitations in our conversations. That's why I just want the money. Can't nobody take it from me.